Hi everyone, it's Mike here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm stumbling over my own words already. And welcome back to my YouTube channel, everybody. So I know we're coming towards the end of March and I haven't done my March art tag yet. So I thought I'd do that today, just squeeze it in before the end of the month. And I'm sure you'll forgive me for not being able to get round to it because we have been rather busy over the past week or two, trying to get ready for moving. Like I said, we're moving house on the 28th of March. So yeah, I've started to pack a lot of stuff away and I don't really have that many resources left and that I can lay my hands on. So this tag is going to be a quick one with just a few resources. So yes, it's March. So March Madness, March Hare. So take your pick. So I've got some Alice in Wonderland type stamps that I want to use, and I can't decide whether to use the rabbit or this rather dapper kind of Johnny Deppy kind of Mad Hatter lookalike. I think I'm going to go for the rabbit only because it's got that clock in the background. So yeah, so March Hare, rabbits and hares, but you can do madness as well if you want to. So March Madness we'll just call it. And you can include hares if you want to. So I've got my tag already out of my tag journal, ready to go. So what I want to do for this, just pop that away to one side, is I'm going to cover it completely with one of these vintage advert sheets from La Famille, which was a French magazine. One of the books that our friend Karen brought us back from her holiday in France. So what I want to do is I want to get a decent kind of collection of adverts in there. So I'm going to drop that down like that and then see if I've got a pencil still. I've got a small craft kit that I refuse to pack, which I also used when I went to recent class with the Andy Skinner class in Retford at Indigo Blue a week or so ago. Actually, it was last Saturday. Oh, see, that doesn't matter. All right, so let me just go a bit further and then grab some skizzers. And then actually what I might do is I might just go roughly around, because have I still got an emery board? Yes, I have still got an emery board. So what I'm going to do is just quickly whip around with the scissors. Where's that line? There it is. And don't worry about these papers, I have actually scanned them already. But I have got a book full, absolutely full. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put some glue on this side. Now what shall we use? Let's use Slap It On. Hello boys! Both Mr. Nipper and Mr. Bentley have come in to see me. Hello, darling. What are you up to? What do you want? You come for a cuddle? No, you always pick the right time, don't you? Always pick the right time. I know he doesn't want to go out for a wee-wee because he's just been out for one. Not 5 minutes ago. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just drop the matte medium down onto the paper. Grab a brush. That one will do. Already got one to one side, and then just give it a real liberal squidge so that it's on all over, and then I'm going to just brush the excess upwards so it starts collecting on the brush like so. What's up, darling? Are you going to just come to sit with me? You just want to be in the same room as me, dear? Little baby boy. There we go. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to get the tag and I'm just going to drop it down into the middle. Like so. Give it a bit of a rub. And then I'm going to just go underneath, lay it down, and then pick up the rest of that and then go over the top. And that way it's going to soak in and it's going to seal it, which is going to enable me to be able to add colour if I want to, almost like a clear gesso, because the matte medium also gives you that same kind of sealant. And Nippy's just put his head, rested his chin on my knee. Oh, hello. What? You've just had a cuddle and a biscuit and you've been out for a wee wee. What do you want, little monkey? Eh? You little monkey. Yes. I know. I love you too. I do. I love you loads. Somebody wants a cuddle. Right, what I'm going to have to do is just leave that to dry. So I'm just going to get the brush underneath, put that to one side. I'm going to let that dry while I just have a quick cuddle with Mr. Nip. Well, you've got to, haven't you? You've got to when they come and ask for one. All right, that should be dry enough now. So what I need to do just quickly is just go around the edges and just remove the excess. So all I'm doing is what I call the pie crust method. Just go all the way around until you sand through on the edge and all the excess just drops off. The reason I call it a pie crust method is because this is what Grandma used to do when she was making pies with their crust and pastry toppings. So she'd use a knife with a pastry. But it's nice just to call it that, isn't it? Because it brings back memories. And it's nice to remember grandparents every so often, even though mine have been gone for quite some years. I think my grandma died when I was about 13, but I still have memories of her, so that's good. There we go. So there is the tag, all nicely covered with that vintage French paper. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to give this a quick coat, a base coat of a colour, a translucent colour, almost like a rusty colour. So this is indigo blue, 22 karat gold. So this is a beautiful kind of red colour, but like I said, it is translucent, so it won't cover everything completely. You will still be able to see the text underneath the paint, but it gives us a really nice kind of grungy background colour to work with. And seeing as we're going to be doing clockwork, we may as well do almost like a steampunky background. And I'm going to leave those brush strokes. I like the fact that we've got those brush strokes and it's uneven mottled. You could add the paint with a sponge if you want to, but I like the fact that it's all different kind of depths and thicknesses. Love that. So right, we'll get the brush washed, cleaned, get this dried, and then I'll be right back. Oh, and if you're wondering, Nippy's gone back to bed now because we've had a cuddle. Hello again. What? You've been very insistent today, aren't you? I thought you'd gone back to bed. Eh? I thought you'd gone back to bed. Little monkey. Sorry about that, it's come back again. Right, so this is a stencil from one of the new mixed media boxes from Indigo Blue. So this is a sneak peek. Don't tell them that I've shown you it. Right. And because it's got clockwork all over it, it's absolutely perfect. And the colour paint that I'm using is called Clotted Cream. So we're just going to go all over the tag. Nippy's got his chin on my knee again. Haven't you, little monkey? I don't know what you want. Eh? I don't know what you want. Right, I might just have to dip into that pot there. That's better. Eh? What do you want? She's definitely attention seeking today. Eh? Definitely attention seeking. Right, because this stencil is not quite big enough to fill the entire of the background, because I've gone right to the top with it, I'm going to just move it now, bring it down just so that I can, in fact I might even flip it over. No, I'm not going to flip it over, let's just move it down a bit. Or move it up that way so we can blend into it. That's more like it. We are going to be adding a focal point to this tag, so it doesn't matter if it doesn't make sense in the background or any of it overlaps, because we will be, like I said, adding a focal point to it. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I'll need to go and clean the stencil while that's drying. So I'll do that, clean my little bouncer sponge, and then I'll be right back. All right, now that the paint is dried, like that, I'm going to add just a bit of dark border, just to kind of tone that down a bit, just to add a little bit of age and grunge. So the ink that I'm using is the VersaFine Clair Fallen Leaves. There we go. Just adds a nice kind of dark and grungy border all the way around. Alright. So again, I just want to give that a quick blast with the heat gun just to make sure that it's nice and dry, and then I'll be right back. So while that's drying, I've got the Nocturne, VersaFine Clair Nocturne, which is black. And I've mounted the stamp up on my stamp platform. I'm using the same, the sentiment as well, because I think the sentiment is just perfect. So we'll ink up the whole stamp. Just have to be careful on that line there. In fact, let me just grab a wipe and I might just be able to take that excess off just there. What's the matter, Poppet? Eh? You've been very needy today, aren't you? Eh? It's very unusual for you, Mr. Nippy, to be needy, but it's nice. Eh? It's nice. Usually spends all afternoon fast asleep. I just need to give it a little bit of a CPR. But the beauty with the stamp platform is you can keep on going until you're happy with the impression that you've got. Like so. Hello. Yeah, I don't know what's up with him. It's not WALK time, I don't think. Ah, there we go. That's much better. I'm happy with that. Okay, so we'll take that away. I'm happy with that. So before we go any further, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of paint just onto that background, just to kind of create a bit of a light haze in the background. So I could use white gesso, or I could use an off-white. In this instance, I've got a new colour called Mushroom Whisper, which is a really nice kind of neutral tone. And this is a very new colour, again from Indigo Blue. What's the matter, baby? You're not yourself at the moment, are you? Eh? You are not yourself. Right, let me just grab a little bit of sponge. And what I'm going to do is just pick up a little bit of that sponge, paint on the sponge. And I'm going to go just kind of like around that middle. Just diffusing that colour a little. Let me see if I can just pop that down, just hold it down. That's it. I might have to move the stamp. Get rid of the sentiment first of all. And I'll just clean off any excess ink. Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp directly down onto the tag, and then I'm going to colour in the stamps when I've done on the paper. So we need to get the positioning of that right in a second. But let's just go around, add in this kind of mottled background. There we go. Has Mr. Nippy gone back through there, or is there with you? He's been very insistent. He's just been out. Okay. Yeah, but he keeps coming in and putting his head on my knee. Oh. So I don't know what he wants. So again, it just adds that kind of extra dimension and layer in that background. So that was Ian in the background, by the way, if you hadn't realised. He's just coming from the garage where he's tidying up.
I thought you said you were being insistent. I thought you were talking to me. Good afternoon, everyone.
I was talking to you. I was just saying it was just being rather insistent. I've already let him out once. He's had a wee, he's had a biscuit, he's had a cuddle and a snuggle, but he still keeps coming in and putting his head on my knee, so I don't know what he's after.
It's a lovely background.
Thank you very much. This is the new Mushroom Whisper paint.
Oh.
With clotted cream and that 22 karat gold translucent.
Oh, very nice.
Over one of the French pages from one of the books that Karen brought.
Ah, mais oui.
Indeed. Mais oui. It's your actual French, that is. Your actual French, as opposed to bad French like Officer Crabtree in Allo Allo. Remember him? God mooning. Oh dear. Right. So, what did we want? We wanted the black ink again, didn't we? That's brown. So let's ink him back up. As best we can. So this might need a couple of impressiones. But don't forget, we are going to be paper piecing. Oh, that's hurt my wrist. Yes. I think maybe just a little bit more. Just because. Get those bits in between his ears and round that circle, because they're not going to be paper pieced. So we do need to, I could do with one of those hand things. I'm gonna have to order myself one, like the burnisher. It's like a Yeah, you know what I mean. I'm not being very eloquent today. There we go. Yeah, like him a lot. Right, so let's get him cleaned. Just wipe him down. And then we can pop him away along with that sentiment. And then he's ready to play another day. All right. So I'll get this dried off. I'll get the stamp popped away and the stamp platform put away. And then I'll be back and we'll do a little bit of colouring in, a little bit of painting, a little bit of colouring in. All right, so that was the original stamped image of the white rabbit, which I wasn't particularly happy with because I used the mixed media cardstock, the Deal Around in mixed media cardstock, that one, 250 GSM, £169. Mixed media, it's supposed to be, multi-techniques, but I think the ink has soaked in a bit too much, it's wicked a bit too much, so I've done it again. I did it again just on stamping paper, and this is going to be more than enough. So I've got some coloured pencils here. These are Caran d'Ache Pablo. So I'm going to use those. Just gentle sort of colour. And I'm going to go around and add that colour in. And I'm just going in lightly. I'm not pressing really hard, but these are really nice coloured pencils. I don't use them very often because usually mixed media work is more paint and ink and all that kind of stuff, but you know, mixed media incorporates mixed resources, so there's nothing wrong with you using coloured pencils, even felt tips and crayons. There's nothing wrong with that at all. So it's going to stay white rabbit. So, but we'll colour his little dicky bow tie in red. And I'm going to give him a real light pink nose. Just in there like that. And then we'll also just do a little bit of that pink in the ears, a bit darker where it's just in that cusp there, and then lighter on the outside, and then just a hint in there, because that's mostly black in there, but that's okay. And then for his coat, I thought we'd go tealy, because that's going to go really nicely with that orange in that background. So oranges, teals, because they're opposites on the colour wheel, they work really well as a colour combo. So let's just bring that colour down here. When I colour with pencils, I tend to go around in little circles. think it just gives me a bit more control. And then if I want some darker, I can just press a little bit harder, just where I feel that it needs to be a little bit more enforced, if you like. Just feel like little circles. You've got just that little bit more control. And I think for the waistcoat, we'll jump in with that orange. You don't really see a lot of it, but just enough. Like so. I like him. I think he's lovely. Right, so I'm now going to try and cut him out. But bearing in mind we've already stamped the background, so like with these little drippy areas here, don't worry about those, because they're already on the background. They will still be there when we layer our image down. And I'm going to go right around that circle so that all those flourishes around there will be visible. And then we'll cut out Mr. Rabbit's ears. And the beauty of doing it this way is that even if you kind of like make a little bit of a mistake and accidentally cut into the image, it doesn't matter because the image is stamped into the background. So I'm going to leave the center and his white face, mainly because when we come to stick our little quote and sentiment down, I want it to be on a white background. So that there's then white mirrored from the background in the foreground. So you haven't just got the one bit of white showing. And then just along there. Almost there. And then that doesn't really matter if we just cut that little bit off there. Okay. So now, when we layer that back down there, suddenly it all comes to life. Yeah, like it. So just cutting out the sentiment. And I'm not being too particular. Oh, in fact, I might even just cut straight through there. Because we can. And then maybe just nip in there a little bit. Yeah, I like that. I like it a lot. All right, so we now need to get that glue down. So I'm going to use, yes, Tombow Mono Aqua. Just around the outside. So this gives me a little bit of, it's a spirit glue, so it'll give me a little bit of wiggly room. And I can just slide it into position so it matches up with that stamped image underneath. Almost perfectly. Like it. And then a bit of glue. Mr. Nippy's back again. Hello, you. Very, very needy today. Ah, yeah, you've been very needy. What's up? Eh? What's the matter? Eh? Your teeth are rattling like I don't know what today. He's one of these doggies where his teeth chatter. There we go. So we just need to leave that just to grab for a second, and then I'll be back. Hello. It's just an excuse to give Mr. Nippy a cuddle again. All right, so that's had a few minutes to grab. So I've gone into my collection and I've pulled out a Stabilo oil pencil, and this is in yellow. So I'm just going to scrabble a little bit on the worktop, and then I've got a water brush. If I can get the water to come out of it. It needed a bit of air in there. No, I haven't used that one in a while. I've got more than one. Bear with. No, that one's empty. That doesn't matter. Right, okay, we'll use that one. And I'll just put some water down on the worktop here. I don't need a lot. That'll do. That will do. So grab the brush, get some water, and then just activate that yellow slightly. And then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go in and just add a little bit of yellow colour just to tone that in. Just to tone it down a little bit. There we go. Looking for a cloth. There we go. All right, and then come back in. I think we have a brown, a brune. Yes, we do have a brown. All right. Let's pick up a little bit of brown. And just add a little bit of grunge. as a shadow. Bit more water. Just add a little bit of a drop shadow without being too stark and black. Bit more maybe. I may need to sharpen it. Do I need to sharpen it, or have I got a second one? No, I think the other brown one is just as... Oh, Matt, there we go. I thought for a second there it wasn't going to work. Just add a little bit of a shadow around there. In those floating, it just helps to ground a little bit. There we go. Yeah, I think I'm happy with that. Fab. Fabaroonie. Okay, right, I'll have a quick tidy up, let that dry, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so everything's now dry. We can flip it over, and on the back, how have we been doing it? Oh yes, in the title. So it's March Madness or Hare. So did I put the date on it as well? Yes, I did. So what date is it today? Oh, I can never remember. 22nd, just squeezed in. There we go. So we can now add that to our journal. So 3 of 12, March Madness. So we've now done that. Romance for February. 20th of February. So I did that one towards the back of the month as well. And Unexpected Whimsy, 25th of January. I'm about on time then, aren't I? I thought I was late. Obviously not. So there we go. There's my art tag for 2025. March Madness, excuse me, or March Hare, depending on which way you want to do it. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this art tag today. If you have, please remember to give the video a thumbs up, share it with your friends, and if you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel already, you can do so by clicking the button at the end of the video. That's all from me for now. I'll see you all again very, very soon. Bye for now. I'm late for a very important date. No time to say hello, goodbye. I'm late. I'd like to say a huge thank you to all of my angels, because without you, these videos would not be possible. And don't forget, you can access your exclusive angel-only content over on my website. There's a link in the description area below. Thank you.